A spot in the Pac-12 championship game has been clinched by the road team. The Washington Huskies go into Corvallis and beat Oregon State 22-20. Washington was getting a point and a half in this game. You didn't need it. They won outright. The Huskies have won 18 in a row. They've also won 8 consecutive road games. Road dogs, road winners, Pac-12 champions to be determined. We wait and see. All right, back here with former Louisiana running back Emory Hunt, and Washington clinches a spot in the Pac-12 championship game for the first time since 2018. Michael Penix Jr. was clutch. We saw him a month ago against Oregon, and he had to do a little bit more in that game, right? He had to come back, throw the late touchdown to win the game for them. In this spot, he had to do just enough, especially that 3rd and 3 to Rome Odunze. That sealed it, but prior to that, it was the defense that stood up, holding Oregon State to a field goal instead of a 6 points and a touchdown.
I would also have accepted Road Huskies as well, too. But you're absolutely right. When you think about the Washington Huskies and what they did in this ball game, more in particular Michael Penix Jr., I'm glad you brought up that 3rd and 3, because I'm a big fan of when the coach puts the ball in the hands of his best players to go and win the game or ice the game. And we saw Penix not have his best day statistically because of the weather, because of the defense, because of the conditions. But when they needed him to step in the most, make the play to end the game, he did just that. And this was a game where we saw a much maligned Washington defense step up and play exceptionally well, turn the ball over a lot in this ball game, giving that offense added possessions to go out there and do what it needed to do to get those 2 points to win the ball game. So I like the fact that this was a tough game. It wasn't easy for Washington, but they got it done in the best way they could throughout the course of this contest.
The last time a Pac-12 team was in the college football playoff was Washington after the 2016 season. They beat, let's say it's Oregon. If Oregon wins out, they control their own destiny. They won big over Arizona State on this day. Bo Nix, 6 touchdowns. We'll get to that in a moment. If they win out here and they take on Oregon in the Pac-12 championship, let's say they beat Oregon, what kind of problem, what kind of issues would they present to another team in the playoff?
They attack vertically down the field. They work touchdown to check down in the passing game, and right there, that scares you as a defense because you don't have enough guys on the back end that can cover those long stretch vertical threats on the perimeter one-on-one. And they have a quarterback that has seen a lot, done a lot, played a lot of football, that is not afraid of the moment. We just saw that tonight against Oregon State. Defensively, they're opportunistic. That's going to be huge come playoff time. Can you get the ball back for your offense? And if they can, you put the ball back in the hands of a guy that has a ton of experience, a big-time playmaker, and rises to the occasion when his team needs it the most. So they are the worst type of team to face if you're in the postseason. No one should want to see the Washington Huskies in the Final Four.
Well, before they get to the Pac-12 championship, they play the Apple Cup, taking on Washington State in what could be the final Apple Cup. We hope that it's not, because that's a great rivalry, sort of an underrated rivalry nationally. Not a lot of people really know how good it is, and it is a good rivalry, and it could be the last next week. We'll see. Michael Penix Jr. entered the day tied with LSU's Jaden Daniels for the second-best Heisman odds at +370, behind only Bo Nix at -110. Jaden Daniels had 8 total touchdowns. 8 total touchdowns against Georgia State. 6 passing. Oh, you moved the camera on me. 6 passing, 2 rushing, 25 of 30 for 413 yards. More touchdowns than incompletions. You know who had more touchdowns than incompletions, Emory? Bo Nix. He was 24 of 29 for 404 yards and 6 touchdowns against Arizona State. You're taking a look at the odds. These are entering Saturday. Well, I don't think they're entering Saturday now. I think they're updated. What do you make of this Heisman race right now?
I think it's a clear-cut 3-man race between Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, and Michael Penix Jr. In my list, Jaden Daniels will be number 1 because of what he does running and throwing. You talk about 8 total touchdowns. That's more than anyone in LSU history. We're talking about Billy Cannon, Kevin Falk, more than Eddie Kennison, more than Shaq, more than Ben McDonald, all those guys. 8 touchdowns. Nobody ever scored 8 touchdowns. And Bo Nix has done it consistently week in, week out for the Oregon Ducks. And these are points that they need to win these ball games. So is Jaden Daniels. And Michael Penix has the most Heisman moments in terms of game situations. So all 3 guys, in my opinion, are locks. I think it's a 3-player race this time around. I do like Jaden Daniels because LSU needs every last touchdown he scores to win games or stay in games. And he does it at a remarkable pace in a remarkable fashion each and every Saturday. 8 touchdowns against a Sun Belt Conference, Georgia State Panthers. That's saying a lot. Shout out to the Sun Belt Conference.
So if you had to give the award away right now, who's it going to?
I just said Jaden Daniels. I'm going to give it to Jaden. 8 touchdowns.
Right now, you're already making that.
Most in LSU history.
Hold on, you're already making the statement. He's getting it right now today. That's what I just heard. You're telling me right now.
Stamping the. He's going to New York. He's going to win it. He's the trophy heavier than him, but he's going to win that award. Jaden Daniels, 8 touchdowns total, 6 passing, 2 rushing, and you needed all of those points to win. I mean, listen, this guy has put up ridiculous numbers all season long. Bo Nix has done it, but I think what hurts Bo Nix is the loss to Michael Penix, so they may cancel each other out because they're both coming from the West Coast, and I think that will split the votes coming from the West. But now you're talking about the South and East, that's all Jaden Daniels.
What about the LSU's 3 losses?
So has Tim Tebow. So has Lamar Jackson. They also lost 3 games.
Okay.
Jaden Daniels lost 3 games, and they know they lost not because of Jaden Daniels. They needed him to be in those games or win. So to me, that's all Heisman moments.
So the best player in college football, Jaden Daniels, is your opinion.
Daniels, 8 total touchdowns today. I listed off the greats at LSU across the sports. None of those guys ever scored 8 touchdowns in a game. Jaden Daniels is number 1.
You know who I'm giving it to?
Jaden Daniels.
I'm not giving it to Jaden Daniels.
Who?
Michael Penix Jr.
I wouldn't argue that.
His team is undefeated.
I wouldn't argue that.
His team is like, I get it. Like, Jaden Daniels is awesome. I mean, that kid's great. Bo Nix is awesome. He's also played like 6 years, 7, 8, 9 years of college football, which is fine. It's under the rules.
So has Jaden Daniels.
But so is Penix.
They both played against.
Transferred.
They both played against Justin Herbert.
Thing. I know what the odds say. I know that Penix is not the favorite right now, and sometimes that doesn't matter. But I think it should go to Michael Penix Jr. It should go to him.
I'll back up your argument
undefeated.
right here. And not even
5th
about the team part of it, but I'll back up his argument because I'm a nice guy, right?
Oh, okay.
When you think about Michael Penix Jr. and you think about Heisman moments, how many Heisman moments we've seen from Michael Penix this year? The Oregon game.
And we just saw it here tonight.
We saw it against Oregon State. So he has those moments that you look for to win the Heisman Trophy. If anyone doesn't have these moments, it would be Bo Nix. So if we're going by moments, it's probably Jaden Daniels, because remember the run against Florida. Remember all the touchdown passes and things of that nature.
He was good against USC, though.
He was good against USC.
Yeah,
cool.
right.
But who watches that game and thinks USC put up a fight defensively? So really it's Michael Penix and Jaden Daniels. And I feel like Penix and Bo Nix will split those votes coming out the West. But I help your argument out. Even though I don't agree, I can understand.
Thank you for helping my argument.
That's what I do. People helping people.
Thank you. I mean, I appreciate you.
That's what I
appreciate you.
That's why I'm here.
How about you help this argument? How about you make a case for Marvin Harrison Jr.?
This is a Twitter Heisman Trophy winner, right? Because when you think about Marvin Harrison Jr., you're thinking about, okay, the last time we saw a receiver win the trophy was Devonta Smith.
Yep.
Do you remember what his numbers look like? They trumped Marvin Harrison Jr.'s numbers. Now, Biletnikoff, knock yourself out. That's yours all day long. But Heisman, I would put Milroe over Harrison Jr. In terms of Heisman Trophy, because Marvin Harrison just crossed last weekend over 1,000 yards. So for me, he has a lot of wild plays, but doesn't have those wild Heisman moments for the receiver position, or is not just blowing out the statistics out of the water. So Milroe would get that mark for me. If you want to bring 4 guys to New York City, it's a great city. You want to get that free trip to New York, get you some pizza. You know, why not? But it should be Milroe.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I can buy that. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is arguably the best. He's the Biletnikoff Award winner in the country.
Because think about it, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Neighbors has a case too, and has better stats.
Yeah.